The new law will raise the minimum wage to $11.50 per hour by the year 2017. The measure was overwhelmingly approved by the council and signed into law by the county executive without a hitch. Councilmember Mark Elrich led the charge to raise the minimum wage. He says he believes this is the most effective piece of legislation passed by the council during his tenure.
It's really good. I mean, we do a lot of legislation, and I can't think of anything we've done that will affect people's lives as profoundly for like years to come as this legislation. And I don't think, you know, in public service, being able to make a difference in people's lives is the definition of public service.
In September of 2012, the Montgomery County government held a ceremony to honor residents who served in the Second World War.
I want to welcome you to a very special day as we honor more than 150 veterans of World War II who are here with us today, and remember the many who served America and the entire world 70 years ago.
To prepare for the event, a handful of World War II veterans who currently live in Montgomery County shared their stories for production crews.
For 13 days, we walked.
Their experiences spanned the globe, serving in the Army, Navy, Marines, Army Air Corps, and Merchant Marines. Evident in each interview is their patriotism, courage, work ethic, and modesty. This is truly a great generation.
When Bill Marriott's father was passing through Washington, D.C. one sweltering summer in the 1920s, he noticed there was a lack of establishments offering refreshments. With that, he opened his first A&W root beer stand, where the foundation for the hot shops was established. Bill Marriott had his first job at 14, stapling invoices in one of those restaurants. He graduated to flipping burgers and mopping floors, working for hot shops while in college at the University of Utah. It's there where he got a taste for the business and fell in love. Over the past 6 decades, he has taken Marriott from a family business to a global lodging company with more than 3,700 properties in 73 countries. And Bill Marriott says there is one main factor that can be attributed to that success.
I think one of the most important is consistency. We've always had high standards, but consistent standards.
Queda con ustedes la presentadora de este programa y portavoz hispana del condado de Montgomery, Lorna Virgilí.
Muy buenas, queridos amigos. Bienvenidos una vez más acá a Montgomery el día como de costumbre. Su portavoz hispana de este condado, Lorna Virgilí. Y bueno, en el día de hoy les voy a augurar algo que para mí es muy especial. Les cuento que el día de hoy yo creo que este va a ser el mejor programa, por lo menos el favorito que voy a tener dentro de todos los programas tan excelentes que hemos tenido acá durante el periodo que yo estamos en el aire con Montgomery al día.
You know, it's really simple. Our job is to connect people responsibly to a place to live. And we do that in a variety of different ways. We do it sometimes with a unit itself and other times with assistance or support. So there's some programmatic support that goes into it. FSS is unique, I think, the world over because it takes it a few steps further.
The Family Self-Sufficiency Program was approved by Congress in 1990. We began our program in '93, and so this is our 20th anniversary, and we're very happy about that. And it is a welfare to work kind of program. So what we do is we have people who are in subsidized housing. They have to mostly be single parents, and they come to us voluntarily to get help.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy, and welcome to our County Council Youth Town Hall meeting. We're in Rockville at the Council Hearing Room, where we have a room full of engaged young people who are here to talk to their council members to get their question answered about what's going on in their government. But first, before we go to the floor with questions, I'm going to turn it over to Council President Nancy Navarro for some opening comments.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Montgomery County Council. I'm very excited, and I know my colleagues are as well, to hear from you. We do this every year, and every year we hear a lot of suggestions, a lot of concerns, and a lot of proposals that have actually been taken into consideration, and they have become a reality. So we really welcome your input and your participation, and I'm really glad to see all of you exercising your civic duty here this evening.
My name is Charlie Butler, and I'm with Montgomery County Recreation, Therapeutic Recreation, and I am in charge of the camp you see behind us, Camp Big Pines. A lot of the kids that we have in therapeutic recreation programs need smaller groups, a little more staff to help them get through a lot of the activities. I have been doing therapeutic recreation programming for about 30 years, so I've done kids with emotional issues, the autism spectrum, ADHD, learning disabilities. So for me, it's something where I feel like I can offer them some fun. We have aquatic classes, classes with doing things in arts and crafts. We do aerobics, we do camps, we do special events, dances.
Very nice.
Bill 27-13, Human Rights and Civil Liberties, County Minimum Wage, dollar amount. The HHS Committee recommends enactment with amendments, and I just wanted to make a few comments about this particular proposal. I think that one of the things I've noticed in this conversation is that we talk about the minimum wage in a true academic fashion, and the reality is that there are many experts and many economists and many studies that point to different reasons why we should raise the minimum wage, not raise the minimum wage, what amount, what phased in, why not, etc. And I think it's sometimes very easy to forget that we're talking about real people and real families who we see every day. You know, we see them waiting for the bus to go to work. We see them when you look at folks who clean your buildings.
On the 150th anniversary of the Gettysburg Address, I just want to tell you that Lincoln pulled that off in less than 4 minutes. Mr. Executive.
Thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be here with Council President Navarro to express our, first of all, thanks to you for the work that you do in Annapolis and all the great things you do for our state. Also to acknowledge our new Senator Brian Feldman and new Delegate David Hidalgo. Thank you so much for your service to our county as well. To be to the point, there are two major overriding points that I want to make today. And we've expressed those in the recent press conferences and press releases. You know the challenges we have with public schools. The growth of over 2,000 students per year, more than many other counties combined. The fact that our growth continues to be a challenge for us.
Thanks for watching the Council in Brief. I'm Susan Kennedy. We're here with the news of the Montgomery County Council for this third week in November. We begin this week with the 6th in a series of updates on remediation work at the Silver Spring Transit Center. This latest update has all repairs except for the latex modified concrete overlay completed by this winter. The overlay is scheduled to be applied over a 6-week period once the winter weather breaks, with a completion date expected in May of 2014.
No one is pleased, okay? I mean, people are so frustrated they can barely see straight. But given where we are in this moment in time, what we're hearing is the earliest we can expect it to be done is late May, early June, and then a month of review by WMATA. So we could be really July 4th before we see this open. We don't know. What we do know is that people are working collaboratively together, and we hope this nightmare is going to come to an end soon.
Overall, to be fair, yeah, this is a very complex project, and we don't hear these types of stories with other projects throughout the county. So we have a very good track record of excellence, but unfortunately, this is a pretty massive project with a lot of massive frustration around it. So for me, it's been important as president to ensure that we have these briefings. This was something that I requested and that I instituted. Concerns about the fact that we missed the weather window, that was something that we had talked about before, but at least there's good news around the collaboration with WMATA. That was a real important piece that had to be resolved. And yes, our Inspector General is also looking into things. And so, of course, if there's something that he needs to share with us, most likely it would have to be in closed session until such time as he completes his investigation and then produces a report that then is public. We're not there yet, but obviously as soon as that happens, that is our process, and that's how we'll handle it.
Hello, I'm Joy Matthews, an investigator here at the Montgomery County Office of Consumer Protection. I'm also your host for Consumer Compass.
Are we together?
Our mission here at OCP is to ensure integrity in the marketplace. We do that by enforcing consumer protection laws. We also help resolve complaints, craft legislation, and oversee licensing in areas such as auto repair and new home building. And finally, we provide consumer education. In today's show, we'll get some education at a senior farm.
You say, how can it happen? It happens. People have wired and called our office $2,000, $3,000.
Then we'll meet up with investigator Bob Durant to learn about door-to-door scams.
So once again, get it in writing and be specific.
After that, we'll check in with one of our dedicated volunteers, David Lesser.
We were able to get a $1,000 refund for those people, and that made me feel pretty good.
Phil, I didn't realize that you and I lived so near to each other. I live only about a block from the District of Columbia, and you live about a block from Maryland.
Correct. I moved to Tacoma, D.C., July of 2011.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure we must have been at the same metro station at the same time at some point. I did see you walking down Piney Branch Road a few weeks ago.
Yes, it's a good neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a very nice neighborhood. I've lived in Tacoma Park since 1985, which was a year after I got out of college. I rented my first apartment and then rented my second apartment and ended up with a girlfriend who became my wife, and we bought our first house, and now we're living in our second house. So I just kept moving up but staying in the same area.
I was over on Wisconsin Avenue, McLean Gardens, for about 30 years. I don't know if you know the complex.
Right.
So I got involved in D.C. issues, D.C. politics was through my activism at McLean Gardens.
That's where you got your start?
Yeah.
And were you always an at-large member, or were you a district member first?
I ran in 1998 citywide, and been reelected every time. We have 4-year terms. Last year, when Kwame Brown stepped down as chairman of the council, I was appointed by my colleagues and then ran in the special election last fall.
Well, congratulations. I was delighted to see that you got to be chair. You've been getting really good reviews. I've been following your career. I'm also an at-large member of the county council, and I'm at the end of my 3rd term. I've been serving the entire county since 2002. And it's a lot of work. I mean, as you know, you got to try to represent everybody and balance a lot of competing interests. No matter what you do, somebody's mad at you.
I'm delighted to be here this morning. When we look back over the last 7 or 8 years, we can now see at least some light at the end of the tunnel. But as I expressed this morning to the county council member, I think a lot of community activists and residents also see light at the tunnel, and their light is much bigger and brighter than my light, so we have to pull through this in a very cautious manner. But I can say, without doubt, that we are in a much, much better position today than we've been in the last few years. Today I'm announcing our capital budget for 15 through 20 with a little bit of good news, but also some caution. Caution to the extent that we know that there are some needs. This budget will attempt to respond to those needs, but we'll also do it in a way that I think is careful.